Hey guys, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a first impression / review type thing of the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. And my color is natural beige, in case you were wondering. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. This is a medium to full coverage foundation, undetectable, and it's oil free. So it's supposed to be really buildable. Definitely will be testing that out. And it's made with coconut water, which hydrates your skin, alpine rose, which brightens your skin and promotes elasticity, and hyaluronic acid, which makes your skin look younger. So all of those are good things. And I don't know, I've heard a lot of good things about this, so yeah, we're gonna test it and hope it comes out great. Okay. Hair back. I'm going to be using the Sonia Kashuk primer base, which is a perfecting mattifying primer, and I'm only going to prime half my face to see the difference in foundation. So, and I did already moisturize and use my eye cream and all that, so let's see. I've never just primed half my face, so I'm going to put it on this side. So this foundation is supposed to give you a very natural look, so it's not a mattifying one. That's why I put the matte primer on. So if you have really oily skin, you're going to want to use something that is matte, or you're going to want to use like an oil control powder or something like that. This is supposed to give you like a very natural glow. Okay. So this packaging is actually really cute. Let's talk about it for a second. It's got the frosted glass, and then the letters are in the gold. And I just think it looks very nice and classy. Probably should shake it up a little bit. I'm just going to pump a few onto the top of my powder case. Okay, so its consistency is very creamy, just like most foundations. It's not too watery, which I like. I don't like foundations that are too watery, but it also doesn't look like it's too thick, so hopefully it won't get cakey. I'm going to use this to place it on my face. This is just a like rounded foundation brush. My flat top foundation brush, which I think is better, is very dirty, so this one's clean. This is what we're going with. We'll start off with the not primed side of my face. So I am a lot tanner now because I've been out in the sun a couple times. So the shade is not the best shade for me. It's a little light, but it's okay. It'll still work out just fine. So I just had a little bit on my brush, and it's covered almost all of this half of my face with a lightweight, just with a very light layer. So a little does go a long way, and that is always awesome. And it's going on very smooth. It's not like sticking or pulling or anything like that. It looks pretty even, not too patchy or anything. So that's just with one layer. And it's obviously not covering up like my freckles or anything like that. It's just a very light coverage, but it is evening out my skin tone. I feel like it looks very yellow on camera, but it does not in person. It's probably just my lighting. Sorry, I can't do anything about the lighting, but let's see how it goes on the primed side of my face. feel like you definitely need more, or at least I'm needing more foundation on my brush than I used on this half of my face for the primed side of my face, which is a little odd, but so this is actually a very lightweight foundation. Like, after I put it on and it dries, it doesn't feel like there's anything on my face. So that's pretty awesome. Except that I'd probably forget and like start rubbing my face and like rub it all off or something, so. Blend a little bit. Okay, so that's with one layer evenly over my entire face, and it still looks really, really yellow on this camera. So I think I don't have my glasses on and I don't have any more contacts, so I can't see very well unless I get really, really close, so give me just a second to look. It looks actually very natural. I'm gonna do some blending with my sponge after we do like a second coat, just to test buildability, how well it builds. But otherwise it looks very, very natural, and it doesn't look cakey or anything after one layer. It's not accentuating any of my pores or any, we have a little bit of texture there. It's not accentuating any of that. And it actually looks, the color looks great. I know you guys probably aren't going to believe me because I can see right there on the camera that I look very, very yellow. And I'll try and get like, let's see, try and get some different lighting or something. Let's see, this is with, okay, so that's with like the white flash on my camera. I think that looks a little less yellow. Yeah, I'll get some shots after I'm done in some different lighting and stuff, because right now this light is just making it look extra yellow. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put a second layer and just see how buildable it is and how full coverage it actually gets, because right now it's like medium coverage. I want to see, it says medium to full coverage, so wait, that's what I said, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be medium to full, so we'll see. So far, it's actually going on very well. I don't feel like it's pulling any of the first layer of foundation off. I know sometimes that's a problem. It just feels, it doesn't feel like I'm putting it right onto my skin, obviously, because it is the second layer, but it just feels like when you put foundation on top of a primer, and you can kind of feel that consistency of something underneath it, but it's still going on very smoothly. Okay, and now I guess it does look a little yellow when I first put it on, but it does oxidize into a better color. It's just not showing up with the lighting that I got. I'm gonna need just a little bit more on my cheeks. Okay, so the not primed side of my face, it still went on very smooth. And yeah, the foundation definitely goes on a little yellow, or at least this color, this shade does, but it does oxidize into a more natural color, which you still can't see on this lighting. Let's see. It's a little bit darker because I'm covering up the light, but you can kind of see the color a little bit better. Yeah, we'll see. I definitely don't know that I would call this full coverage. Well, so after 2 layers, it did cover up almost all my freckles. There's one that's a little darker right around here, that's still kind of showing through. Looks a little odd because you can tell there's makeup on top of it. Oh, oops. Let's see. Yeah, so it covered up my lighter freckles, but it's not covering up the dark one that I have right here. So that's a little disappointing, but otherwise it did cover everything. My skin tone does look very even. You can kind of see a little bit of my freckles peeking through over here. But again, it's still not accentuating any of my pores or any texture or anything. So I would definitely say it's pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and put the second layer on the primed side of my face. So it's going on just as smoothly as it did. So primer definitely doesn't change the application. I know sometimes primer makes it easier to like put your foundation on, but it definitely didn't do anything except that the first layer it took a little bit more foundation when I used primer. Okay, so this is with 2 layers on my face, and I definitely feel like they can kind of call it full coverage after you build it up. You could probably put another layer on if you wanted to, but I feel like that would just be way too much foundation on my face. Right now, it feels like I'm not wearing anything but maybe like, no, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything. Like this side I can still kind of feel it because it hasn't dried yet, but like once it like settles down and like dries, it feels like you're not wearing anything on your face at all, which is awesome because sometimes you put on a foundation and you can just feel it all day long. You can feel it sitting there. And then like when you sweat in the summer and you can like feel it melting off your face, that's like so gross. But this, it doesn't feel like anything after it dries. It's still just a little tacky. So you definitely have to set it with powder. It's not one of those that you can just not set. And other than the fact that I'm a little tanner than I was last week, the color is actually pretty great. It looks very natural. It, like I said, it does look very yellow on camera, but it does not look that way. Let me block out that light a little bit. Hold on, let me see if I can do something about the lighting. So that's about all I can do with the lighting right now. I do have a window over here, but the sun's over there right now, so there's not much coming in. But yeah, like I feel like that makes it a little less yellow because that light is just very yellow that I was using. It's just like a lamp that I use, that's why it's yellow. But yeah, this is the foundation. I really do think it looks natural. I'm gonna go ahead and use a Real Technique sponge to kind of blend it out and make sure it has that perfect smooth texture. And just see exactly how natural it can look. Because up close I can definitely tell I'm wearing foundation, but it says it's supposed to look natural and a lot of people said it does look natural, so I just blend it out with my sponge. So it's blending out very well. It looks very natural. Like you can still, there's still some spots where you can tell I'm wearing foundation. Probably also just because my face isn't this perfect looking, so I might just be overcritical of it. I might just being. Did I just say I might just being? I might just be being. I might just be being overly critical. How would I don't understand. Okay, I just confused myself with that sentence. So, We're just gonna pretend it didn't happen, okay? Blending out definitely makes my freckles show through a little more because, you know, the sponge does pick up any excess foundation that's just sitting there doing nothing. So you can definitely see a few freckles, but it doesn't look bad. Like, it still just looks natural. And it still just feels very lightweight, like if there's nothing on my face. I'm gonna do the other side. Okay, so after I blended it out with my little sponge, I think it looks even more natural than it already did, if that's even possible, if that makes any sense at all to you. It just looks very smooth, and yeah, like, it's not accentuating any pores, it's not accentuating any texture that I have on my face. I kind of just blurred everything out. It totally evened out my skin tone, except for under my under eye. Obviously, those circles are always very, very dark, so it doesn't cover that up. But like on my hyperpigmentation, I think is what it's called, where like it's a little red and I have some spots that are a little brown, and like it just evened it all out, but without making my face look flat. Like, I still have a lot of dimension to my face. You can kind of still see the patches that people call my natural contouring, and it's really just skin color that's not the right color, but you can definitely still see that. There's definitely like still some shine to my skin, so I still look like glowy, but in a good way, not in an oily way. Just go ahead and do my concealer and set it all with powder, and then I'll be back to see what it looks like with powder on top. Okay, so I just finished with my concealer and powder, and I baked under my eyes and everything, and I've got to say it went on. It was a little weird with when I put the powder on. It felt like my face, when I touched it, it felt very dry, but when I put the powder on, okay, so like I was saying, my camera cut off. It felt like I was putting powder onto a very wet surface, even though my face felt dry when I touched it. But I just went very light with the powder, and I think it still looks natural. It's got a little cakey up here when I put powder on top, but I think it'll be okay once I put like setting spray on to kind of melt the powder away. But the concealer, and I used the sculptor, that went on so smooth. It like blended out well. Sometimes with foundations you put that on top and it just like smears and like tugs and goes on very patchy, but it went on very smooth, just like if I was putting it straight onto my skin. And I definitely would say this is, so far, I'm really liking it. I've got only good things to say about it so far. I will be doing some check-ins, and then I'll show you at the end of the day. I'll be putting more makeup on top of this, but this is going to be my last check-in right now, and then I'll check in a few hours. It is 3:02 p.m. right now. I know I wanted to start the review early in the morning, but we stayed up late and I slept till like 2 o'clock. So I will be staying up probably all night long now. So I figured I could still do a foundation review. I don't know what all I'm going to be doing today, but this should get somewhere so you can actually see what it's like. And then I might do another, like a double or whatever, and do it again on another day, and then just put these two together. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll definitely be checking in and letting you see how it wears and how if it changes, like if it oxidizes and changes colors even more, because right now I think it looks very good. It blends in my chest. My chest isn't too tan, but like it was a little light. I used the Urban Decay powder because it's a little darker, so it made it look a little more natural and more my skin tone. But so far I think it's great. It didn't crease in any of my like expression lines. The foundation didn't, because I do have a lot of foundations that crease in there. Before I set it with powder anyway. It definitely didn't crease before that. And yeah. Right now I think it just looks very, very natural. I could go out just like this and I'd be fine, and I don't know, I really like it. It's very smooth. as long as it wears good throughout the day, I may have found my new favorite. So I'll check in with you guys in a few hours and we'll see how it's doing. Hey guys, so I'm just back with a quick check-in. It is 10:42 right now. So let's see. This has been on for 3 hours and 40 minutes. As you can see, my nose has definitely gotten a little shiny. So the foundation completely came off of my nose over here, and you can even see like the line over here. And that's because I was wearing setting spray on top and powder and everything, like you can see. And I'm sure it's probably because I was wearing my glasses, but there's like no foundation left on my nose. It's like all skin. It didn't settle into any of my expression lines though. It did get kind of cakey up in here, like on both sides of my nose. It held up pretty good around my mouth, and we just actually came back from eating, so that's pretty good. It really doesn't look like it got patchy or started breaking up anywhere other than around here where I wear my glasses. It looks like it might be fading a little right here. And like I said, it's completely off my nose, and you can even see where it starts up again on the sides of my nose. But otherwise, it held up pretty great. I still really like this foundation. I just probably won't wear it with my glasses again, which kind of sucks because I definitely need a foundation that I can wear my glasses with. I've never had... I wasn't even doing anything that made me sweat, so it's actually pretty disappointing. I've never had a makeup do that before, come off just because I'm... Ew, yeah, you can see it like on my glasses right here. You can see the foundation, like... That's pretty gross. And I always like drench my face in setting spray to like really pack it on. So I guess that's the only bad thing I can say about this foundation so far. I'm still going to wear it a few more hours, and then I'll let you guys know how it did before I go to bed and before I take it all off. And I'll also be doing this in like a 2-part, so I'll be doing another day, and I'll let you guys know. Again, also that'll be in this video, so. Hey guys, so this is my last check-in for today's little review of this foundation. It is... My phone is dead. I think it's like 2:30 in the morning. So this foundation has been on for 11 and a half-ish hours. And we're going to see how well it did. Take my glasses off. So I never did touch up my nose, just because it was already like, what time was it? Sorry. It was already like 11, 12. What time was it for my check-in? It was late. I wasn't going to be going anywhere anymore, so I didn't see the point of touching this up. So you can still see there's absolutely no foundation left on my nose at all, which I don't even understand how it all came off, because I wear my glasses, yeah, and they might slide down to about there, which I would probably never let them get that low before pushing them back up, because that would just be annoying. But even if they got that low, why does this part of my nose have no foundation left on it? Does that make sense? It didn't seem to settle into any of my pores. It doesn't look like it accentuated any of my expression lines up here on my forehead. Other than on my nose, like, it kind of did a weird thing with my concealer over here, where it now looks a weird kind of texture. But that might have been my concealer, I don't know. It melted a little bit in here. That looks weird. Like over here in between, like in that crease. It like melted a little bit and then just like formed little, like you can see it over here, little cakey patches there. It looks like it might have faded a little over here. So yeah, it definitely didn't accentuate any pores. It doesn't look, oh my god, what is going on with my eyeliner? I really need a new eyeliner. It always does that. Anyway, like I was saying, it didn't seem to set into any of my pores. It doesn't seem like it accentuated any lines or creases in my face, and the color still looks very natural. It oxidized a little to match my skin tone. It looks a little less yellow than it did. It still looks yellow on camera, but like right here in real life, it does not look yellow at all. It doesn't seem like it faded anywhere around here, which I know some people have that problem. But this, like from here down, that's where it faded. Here it came off completely, melted and got cakey in here, and then over here around my mouth, it just faded just a little bit. So I don't really mind this because this is probably from like eating, or I probably touched my face a couple times. Like that's just normal wear. Like throughout the day, if I was really gonna be really busy, I would just touch it up a little bit. Yeah, I'd probably just touch it up a little bit. But the fact that it wore off so much, so so much right there, that I don't know, I'm definitely gonna give it another day to see. I always try things more than once before I decide I don't like them. But I just feel like it wasn't a stressful day. Like the most physical labor I did was to get a little mini fridge out of my car that was just a little stuck in the door, but that wasn't like a lot of work. I didn't have to do any sweating. I wasn't really outside in the sun a lot today, just in the car, which was air conditioned. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing that it faded so, like, it's not like it just faded a little bit. Like there's absolutely no foundation on my nose at all. Nothing. Like up here and up there's foundation, and here and down there's, like if I was wearing like a nose thing before putting on my makeup. So yeah, otherwise I don't know if maybe it's because this is like where I get oily, and then this is just normal where, like this I don't mind this fading because that's just normal. I probably did touch my face a lot. We were eating, pizza and grease, and like I dabbed my mouth, so that's probably why this faded. But this is really bothering me. I'm gonna stop talking about it because it's probably getting repetitive. So otherwise, this foundation has done very well, and I will talk to you guys when I do it the second time, which will not be tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to the water park, so it'd be kind of stupid to wear foundation. It's all just gonna run away. I will try this out on a second day and let you guys know how I think of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this off my face now and go to bed because it's very late. Hey guys, so it's day 2 of the Born This Way foundation review. And I did prime my whole face today, still using the Mattifying primer. So we'll see how it goes throughout the day. It had pretty good, easy application, and I didn't do too much. Like I didn't contour, I just used a little bit of bronzer and blush and highlighter. And I have not had time to do my eye makeup because I have to go now. But I'll probably be wearing eyeshadow when I check in with you. This eye is going to be a little iffy because when I sprayed my setting spray, my mascara ran and I was trying out a new mascara. This is the Big Fatty Urban Decay mascara. Definitely not waterproof, considering like I didn't even put too much setting spray and it just bled everywhere. There was just mascara everywhere. Really hard to fix when you're already in a rush to go. So yeah, it went on smooth. It looks great. And I'll let you know how it went. So I forgot to tell you what time it was when I put this on, but it had been 11:20 and it is now 2:48. So it has officially been 3 hours and 20 something minutes. And So far we've already got problems where my glasses are. You can see it breaking up and then it's just completely melted off my nose, and I'm not even oily. I don't know why it came off there. And we've got it kicking up in there. That's the same problem we had the other day. And it's really disappointing because it goes on so smooth and it looks great. I ate and it's still pretty good. Yeah, it's still good around my mouth. There was a few crumblies in the corners. Like, people normally have a problem with foundation there, but it looks fine. It does look like it's starting to rub off here, but probably just because I touch my chin a lot. So yeah, so far it's just like the other day where it's great and it's perfect in every single way except that it refuses to stay on my nose. And like I said, I'm not really oily or anything, so I really don't understand why it keeps doing that. Like, yeah, my nose is the oiliest part of my face, but it's not oily today. Like, there's not an excessive amount of oil. I use the Mattifying primer. I definitely set everything with powder, so there's really no reason why it should be gone so fast, especially in just a couple of hours. Just a few hours. Like, it should last longer than that. So, I don't know, guys. I guess this probably will not be my new favorite foundation. You guys should definitely give it a try though, because other than the nose thing, it's perfect. So maybe it's just my skin type. Maybe it's just because my nose is a little greasy. Maybe it doesn't work with that. If you've tried it, let me know if you have the same problem. But I will check in probably just one more time before I take it off, just see how the rest of it wears. But I'm not expecting anything other than the nose to be a problem, just because that was what happened the other day. Okay guys, so this is the last check-in for the foundation. So I'm pretty sure this foundation might actually be magic. I was actually setting up our patio furniture earlier today, so I was just covered in sweat, and it really looks like most of the foundation is still there. Obviously my nose came off like I told you. That part of my makeup came off a long time ago, and it looks like it started melting along the sides of my nose as well. And around my mouth. Probably this is from all the eating that happened throughout a day. And it looks like some of it has come off my face, but for the most part, the foundation is still there. There's not as much on my forehead, and there's not as much along here. And obviously it came off completely here, but for sweating as much as I was earlier, that is actually really, really good. So if you're not oily at all, then I would definitely suggest this foundation for you. But if you have an oily nose the way I do, then it's probably not the best for you because, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's why the foundation just kept falling right off because, yeah, my glasses might fall to about there. Like, I don't know why I would ever let them get that low, but even if they did, this part of my nose should still have makeup on it. Like, there's no way my glasses would have rubbed makeup off of that part of my nose. So that, I'm guessing, is just because of the oiliness that happens on my nose. But otherwise, I really do think it was an awesome foundation. It doesn't look like it settled into any lines. I don't think it's accentuating any of my pores or anything like that. I just think it was pretty good. I probably should have used my summerproof powder to help keep it on around here while I was sweating, but I don't think this is bad. Let me see what time it is. It's almost 8:20, so I've had it on for 9 hours, and I'm about to just take it off and go to bed. So yeah, I think this foundation's pretty awesome as long as you don't have an oily face or an oily nose. Like I said, as long as you're not going to be sweating a lot or anything, so just as an everyday kind of foundation, it did work pretty great. Just, it did not stay on my nose, and I think that's just my skin type, so I'm not going to hold that against the foundation. I'll probably try it one more time before I decide I don't like it, but for the purposes of this review, I'm going to give it 4 to 5 stars, and I would recommend it to anyone that doesn't have an oily face. So yeah, if you like this video, if you want to see more reviews or anything like that, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you got anything in particular you want me to do a review on, and I will see about doing that. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are not already subscribed. And you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at shewhospeaks, underscores instead of spaces, and on Snapchat at kimberly.nicole. It's with a K, not a C. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!